VIGILANT Broadcasting, the station of opportunity, presents The Chronicles of Doing Too Much with your host, Angel Riley.
Good evening, and welcome to the episode of the Chronicles of Doing Too Much. I'm your host, the one and only Angel L. Riley, and I hope you guys are having a fantastic kickoff to this week. Now, I want to have to tell you before we get in, I was switching up my electronic devices, and my niece just had this beautiful little baby girl. I call her Princess, and I was moving around my phone, and all of a sudden, a huge picture of little Princess just, came up. She's such a cutie pie. She looks like a baby doll. So I tell you, that just lifted my mood and my spirits even more as we talk about this very important item tonight about marketing ourselves. And I'm going to call the nice episode Google Me Baby. I think there was a song or something about that, but I'm going to let the little princess, her name is Trinity, so I'm going to let Princess Trinity look at me while I do this and just keep us happy, because I tell you, we talk a lot about finding those little things in life that makes us happy and, takes us into that space where we are being the best that we can possibly be as we are trying to achieve and striving and achieving our best possible life. So I talk a lot about the candles that smell like lavender vanilla in here. It's delicious. And having that cup of tea or that glass of wine or whatever you fancy. And now I get to look at my little great niece. She'll be 2 months this week. Oh my God. She is just such a kitty pie. So thank you, little Princess Trinity, for popping up on my phone as I was just kind of going through. So I guess I needed that. She's yummy, baby. I'm going to have to go kiss up those cheeks. Spoken like a true auntie, right? Well, we've been walking through pretty much how to build that business plan. And again, I reiterate all of the steps, and I try to emphasize how what we're doing with the business plan and how we're planning, to achieve our goals, to live that best life possible. I always try to repeat the different steps that we've gone through. One, for you to go and check out the previous broadcast to make sure that you have any notes. If you have questions or you want me to elaborate more, definitely shoot me an email, and I'm more than happy to. So angel@angelriley.com. And we're going to have some big things coming up towards the end of this month, guys, to get a little bit even more interaction with me. So I'll be telling you all about that once my team finishes doing the magic that they do. But that is just definitely really important, because whether you're striving to be the best you, or whether you're striving to build an amazing business, all of these steps are essential. So we kicked off with setting that vision, forward-looking, forward-thinking. That's what your vision statement is. Where do I want to be? What do I ultimately want to achieve? What am I striving for? What will I succeed? What is the purpose behind everything that I'm doing? Because this is the end result. This is when I'm going to quantify 100% success. This is what that is. That's going to where I achieve and what I wanted to achieve, and making that adjustment along the way to be sure that the ultimate goal will be accomplished. The second thing is the mission statement. So we talked about, last week we talked about the mission statement, and we went deep into, the mission statement tells you the who, what, why, and when, so that is, and the how. How can we forget the how? And we went over some really important mission statements, some great mission statements versus important, but we went over some great mission statements and just had a wonderful time and discussion. I got positive feedback for that. So now that we've set the vision, we've made it plain and clear, we have the mission, know how we're going to achieve it. Now, this is the most important part, and that is telling others. That is sharing with others exactly what it is that we're doing, finding that ideal clientele, that ideal market. I might get into some specific things to do as you're developing who's your niche audience, because That's a wonderful thing, and I have to neglect. Let me tell you guys, I do these shows from memory. I really probably need to get better and write stuff down. But when a plan is solid, you remember. And I skipped the episode. One of the episodes that we talked about, we did the mission, we did the vision, and then we did the SWOT analysis, the strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. That was awesome. That was an awesome show. That's my favorite part of anything, of setting yourself up, whether you're doing it for a business or whether you're doing it personally. But you definitely want that SWOT analysis. That is key. That is huge. So I apologize for letting my memory fail me on that, because that's the most important aspect and probably one of the most time consuming aspects, because with the SWOT analysis, we've identified all of our strengths. What sets us apart from the rest? We identified our opportunities. Where are areas that we can grow into? Then we identified our weaknesses. What I don't like to use the word weakness. I like to use the word challenges. So what are some of my challenges? And then we looked at threats. So that's the external. What are the external factors that hit us, that are beyond our control? And is there a possible way that we can prepare for that? I always like to put financial implications in the threat, because that's an external factor. If the stock market crashes, I used the example in our episode about in the U.S., the federal government partial shutdown. What type of impact does that have on your brand, on your business, on you making that power move? Remember that episode? Oh, that was awesome. I get excited about power moves, but looking at all of that. So we had the vision, writing the vision plain and clear, forward thinking where we're going. Then we had the mission, the who, what, when, where, and how. That's how we're going to do it. Then we did the SWOT analysis, where we did that really deep look into writing everything out and seeing exactly where we're going to go. Our strengths, our weaknesses, our opportunities, and our threats. So remember, the strengths and weaknesses are internal. That's where you have to be really honest with yourself and look deep down. The opportunities and threats are the external. Those are all of the factors outside of your business is going to help you to grow and thrive, because a threat is going, because you've identified it, because you've taken the time and you acknowledged it, you're going to thrive when you have that. You're going to thrive. And even if you have to, put a threat down that you saw that was unexpected, and, or a consequence or something that you didn't think was expected, now you're able to identify it and prepare in the future and make your plan and your vision more solid. So now we're communicating with people. We talked a lot about the opportunities and how when you really do the deep dive in to say what opportunities you have to expand yourself personally, to expand your brand as a business, you looked at that you have the luxury of really fine tuning and getting into your niche market. You know, you really have looked to say, this is the subset of people that I'm appealing to. So if it's your personal brand and you're talking just like with this show, what does the demographic of my listeners look like? Where are they located? What type of, you know, um, challenges they have in their lives? What types of opportunities are they pursuing? What's their vision? What's their goals? As I continue to build that out with just this broadcast, that makes us even better. That makes my team even more engaging. That makes my team even more excited, because we've actually been able to carve out that niche market. So as we build into having guests, guess who the first people are going to go to? Are the people from that community that we're appealing to. All right, so let's start talking about how do we find those folks. That is, a lot of people just they start to think and say, "Oh, I'm not really sure what I could do, or how do I get to all these people? I see my opportunities. I know what my strengths are. I know what my weaknesses are. I spent a lot of time in identifying threats and, and preparing my challenges. But I have all this stuff. I have this great brand. Now what? Now what? So now what you're going to do is start marketing. And even if it's your personal development, even if you're using, these steps for something personal within you, it's not for the public to know, you still want to look at different things and to say, how am I achieving that? So you're essentially marketing to yourself. The whole thing of my candles and, having my cup of tea or having pictures of like my little Princess Trinity on my phone. It is just so cute. She look delicious. I need to go and kiss up those cheeks. All of those are things. I would consider those marketing strategies for my own mental stability, my own mental well-being, because those are things that put me into a space of peace and comfort. Those are things that inspire me to be the most creative. Those are the things that when my day is just hectic, it brings me calm. So that's all part of what I would consider internal marketing strategy. Now, I have a console table in my bedroom, and I have pictures, and not just pictures of any and everything, but pictures that mean a lot. So sometimes if I'm having one of those days, I can just look at the pictures that are on my console table, and it's amazing. And it makes me think of things, or it makes me remember some incredible moments. I have a picture when I got my master's degree, and I was walking across the stage. And that was good. That was a huge accomplishment. I went to graduate school part time and worked full time. So that was a huge accomplishment. I have a picture of me and my second oldest niece when we went to the Beyonce concert. I love being an auntie, and my niece and I had a great time at that Beyonce concert. I have a picture of me and my mom when I took my mom to Hawaii in 2008. That was my first time in Hawaii. That was my first solo vacation with my mom. That was huge. I have a picture where I met the Reverend Al Sharpton at a political event. Gosh, I had to be in the early 2000s. That was huge because I had a career in politics. And then I have two pictures of when I moved from the Washington, D.C. area to Dallas, Texas. That's my first time, and it sounds crazy at my age, but that was my first time because college doesn't count. Then I moved away from home. And I'm pretty much moved solo. And that was a time where I really became myself, that I grew. So I had the pictures there when I went. So all of that's part of marketing. That's all part of my personal development, my personal growth marketing. Those pictures I just described to you all are things that, when I look at that, I remember those moments. I remember those feelings. I remember the challenges. I remember the successes. I remember the happy times. Getting a master's degree and working full time was no easy accomplishment. I remember the early morning, late nights, the only having to sleep for 1 hour, the oh my gosh, it was amazing. I remember my business statistics class, and I thought I was going to fail a class in graduate school, which was not okay. Um, like it was a lot of it was a memory, but I did it, and I did it on time. I did it within 2 years. So you think about that. And sometimes that just gives you the strength you need to go forward and continue to work towards that vision. All right. So we look at the marketing strategies for a business. So we're looking at that, and even for your own personal brand, you know, you want to establish yourself as an authority. When people say Google me, I want you to Google my name, and I want you to see some things. So the very first thing that, it's easy, it's free, is that you need to be on social media. You and a lot of people are fancy and they're on all these different social media channels, and they definitely work well. But if you are just, like myself, you don't have time to manage a lot of social media, you don't understand the various platforms of social media, you start out with one. and you dominate that one. I always recommend Facebook, but I'm also in the age range that they say Facebook is for. So I'm not a millennial, I'm not young, but I'm still hip. I think I am. But Facebook has a powerful presence for your business. Facebook has a lot of tools that will help you. And because Facebook and Instagram are under the same company, you definitely want to go ahead and have a corresponding Instagram, which is just your virtual magazine. So I love Instagram because and once a month, I look at my Instagram account to say, is this a magazine that I want to read? Because that's exactly what Instagram is. It's all about your pictures. So it should make it easy to you. And we're going to talk in our next episode about branding ourselves, and that's something that I'm having to grow. That's something that I'm developing, even for the Chronicles. My team is currently going through and redesigning our Instagram to make sure our magazine is more appealing. So finding that social media, getting out on that social media, finding that platform that works for you. If being across various platforms work most effectively for you and what you're doing, great, do them all. But if being on one or starting on one and building up, you do that as well. So, LinkedIn. Yeah, a lot of that where we're establishing ourselves as an authority. We need to have a presence on LinkedIn. That is such a dynamic platform for so much. Now, a lot of you are like, okay, well, I got all of this on my plate, Angel, and I understand I want to be Googleable. Google me, baby. But I don't have time to manage this. Well, that's where you have to really, when we talk about those weaknesses, when we talk about those opportunities, we talk about those threats and our SWOT analysis. Part of that is we identify those things and are finding solutions. Part of it is knowing when we need to go out to an expert and look for help. I cannot engineer this radio broadcast, but there's an expert that engineers this radio broadcast, and I am so thankful for him. I cannot do all of the marketing strategies for my business. I can't always post or do whatever because I still stay in corporate America. But there's an expert on my team that does all of that, that's developing the strategy. It's always easy to review and update than it is to try to do everything yourself. But having a social media presence is key. Do you look at how many people who've become, famous and wealthy from having an effective YouTube channel, building followers, engaging an audience? Do you know how many people have become famous and wealthy for having an amazing virtual magazine on Instagram? When you effectively manage your social media and that presence, it can do wonders for you living your best life possible. Whether it's your personal brand, your personal development, or your business. Social media is powerful. There's so much power there. So then another thing that we want to do, because we're going to Google me, baby, is start to look at writing a blog. Establish yourself as an authority. What are you good at? What are you knowledgeable about? And in this day and age, there's a lot of different ways to blog. You can have a written blog. If you don't have the time or you're not a good writer, guess what? You go ahead. There's a million ghostwriters out here that will write it for you. You provide them with the outline, some content, and then they'll write the post for you, and you just edit it, and then you send it back, and you can have someone manage it, or you can post it yourself. But really establishing yourself. We also have the video logs, the vlogs, vlog, blog. I don't know why I always have to say that word like that. But we also have the video logs. So if you don't want to write it out, but you can sit down and you can take a couple of minutes and talk about a topic, establishing yourself as an authority, knock yourself out, do that. That's very effective. Okay? So definitely writing it and engage. If you have a blog, engage. Ask some open-ended questions. If you get people that respond, write comments or whatever, respond to them. Build that engagement. Because at the end of the day, when you put your name or your brand in a search engine, you want to be sure that it's all coming up and you're coming up and reflective of what your mission is and ensuring that you are achieving your vision. All right. Another thing is networking. That is huge. It's all about who you know. You never know. It's all about who you know. So networking is key. Now, some of us are introverts and we don't want to be out and around a lot of people. Or if you're like me, part of my corporate career is I give a guidance and I'm listening to a lot of what's going on from various employees. And last thing I want to do some evenings is to go to an event where I have to, be nice and smile and network and push my business because sometimes I am just mentally drained from the 9 to 5. And this was one of those weeks, just mentally drained. And the thing about that is you don't necessarily have to network just in person. And it's essential, and you definitely need to get out there. And I'm not saying to skip all types of networking opportunities, but you also have opportunities to network online. We have all of these wonderful community groups, on Facebook, on LinkedIn is huge. And those are the platforms that I use the most. But those networking groups are key. And it allows you to network with those not within your area. I talk a lot about my direct sales company. And with my team, I have 235 people on my team, the team that falls under me. And they're in 32 of the 50 states, plus Korea, Japan, and London. It's no way that I would have been able to achieve that when my circle or my influence is only in this little small area in Washington D.C. So now it's not a thing that I brought all of those people in, but a lot of the people that I've brought into the company, and as they've built our success line to the levels where we are, it's all based on that network. But you cannot tell me that with those 235 people on my team that I haven't met each and every one of them personally. I'm just a personable person if you can't remember, but I use the power of social media. Some of the people I've sponsored into this company, I've never met, but we've met on social media. So that is huge, and it's all through networking. It wasn't just, oh, they're my Facebook friend. I never met them. I don't know them. They're not just a friend on Facebook. But we were in some type of common group on social media to network. So even with building your personal brand, we started this whole series off where I talked about going through an unexpected divorce and, dealing with that and shaking toxic people. There are groups that you can join, virtual groups that you can join to help you get over those tough times in your life, those challenges. Those groups have people who can inspire you. Those groups have people who can help you. Those groups have people who can help that will be there as you go through your transformation and your blossom. So definitely networking. And then we'll talk about in our next episode, we'll get into some more specifics on things more business focused, but still with the personal brand because your personal brand can become a business. You never know, And then I'm going to wrap us up today with talking about getting a website. Now, I know a lot of you are saying, we don't do websites nowadays. No one's going to a website. Oh, on the contrary, my dear. We're going to do websites. And, the first thing that I like to do is think, you have your vision and all this for your business. And we'll talk about the marketing strategies more and then the importance of your brand and branding yourself. But when we look at that, the first thing you want to do is say, let me know about my domain. Angel Rally is my brand. So before I started anything, I went and I purchased my domain. I purchased my name because the last thing I want to do is put all of this time and effort and work and push forward. And then I go to say, oh, now it's time for me to get my name, and someone else got it, or someone else is capitalizing off of my hard work. So before you can start anything, and I'll even say, you're registering your businesses, you're doing, your various structures, and we'll have somebody who's very well versed into talking about how you do business structures. But I would even say go and get that prior to. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to start building because you're not marketing yourself or you're not thinking for the future. That forward looking, that vision. I have that vision for Angel Rally. Everything comes out of Angel Rally. So the first thing I did was went and I purchased that. And now it's mine. And I own it. And I can push it out and grow. So get that. So get that website. Get your domain first. Have it, pay for it, continue to move forward, and now let's start building the website. Now, you don't have to make it fancy. I like the G Suite of products and on Google. We have all types of WordPress-based websites and others I'm not familiar with. And you don't have to know how to build it. Again, hiring the experts, having someone else build it. Have them do it for you, optimizing it. We can talk about search engine optimization, how to make sure you have keywords on that website to help you with optimization. But get that website. Talk a lot about it. What type of information do you want to have on that website? You are really missing out on a significant chunk of money. You're really missing out on being able to connect with a significant group of people that's going to help you to build, to help you to achieve your goal, to help you to live your best life possible. And you don't have to necessarily sell a product on the website. Your website can be completely informational. I'm not selling a product under the Angel Rally brand, but my website can house my blog. My website can house the link to the radio broadcast. My website can link you to, another website that has what I do for network marketing. The website is all around Angel Rally, the brand, the vision, the Chronicles. So get that website. It's huge. You can have testimonials on there. You can have different news feeds. Your customers telling you, people giving you a testimony about how something you taught or shared, the impact it had on their life. It gives you the opportunity to engage. Again, we talk about blog engagement. It's the same thing with engagement on your website. Your website is a place for expertise. You're establishing yourself as an authority. One of my goals for my network marketing company this year is that for the product industry that I'm writing ebooks, and again, I pulled together an outline and the content I wanted, and I hired a ghostwriter to do the first one. So this month, my first ebook will be released to my customer base for my network marketing company. So when you all look at that, when you look at building that brand, it doesn't have to be a whole lot. It doesn't have to be extensive. But what you want is for someone to say, I just Googled that person. And everything that came up in that search engine is exactly what my vision is. It's exactly what it should inspire. So hopefully tonight, as we talked about these first few marketing strategies to get you to the next level, I hope they've been extremely helpful. I hope I've given you a great example of what your marketing should look like, and for personal development, your personal, I don't want to share it with the public, comfort and growth, but also for how you to take your business to the next level. So I hope you have a fantastic evening, and I look forward to talking to you on Wednesday night. Good night.
Thank you for tuning in. Remember, you define your own success. Believe you can do it, build a solid foundation, know your circle and soar. Until next time.